Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Weltenburger Kloster Anno 1050. Brewed by Kloster Brewery, Weltenburg, Kelheim, Germany. Okay, and it's bottled by a different brewery. They brew it at the monastery and then they ship it off for bottling purposes. Water, malted barley, and hops. 5.5% alcohol. I did the pills, which was 4.9. That was fabulous. Nearly world class. And then here's 5.5, and I'm going to keep going up the alcohol scale. It says Weltenburger Kloster Hergastelnachten Rezepturen der Altesten Klosterbräu der Welt. The oldest cloistered brewery in the world. It gets a good score on Beer Advocate, so they're saying like it's a B. A 50 out of 100 on rate beer. But at 94 out of 100 for the style, so that's telling you that they don't like the style too much, because they're saying we don't really like the beer, but in the style it's great. I bought this at Dorignax. I think it was $3.99 a bottle for the different varieties. And it's supposed to be our Martzen beer. And this is the first English video review for this beer in the world. And there's one Asian review. I could not understand what the guy was saying, and then it was a German review. This is the first English. Ah, that is a thick off-white head here at 8 a.m. in the morning. It's very humid. Okay, so it's a bubbly, mostly clear, say like golden amber appearance. Yeah, sort of like the warning light on the turn, on the traffic light. They're doing construction next door, so I didn't want to sit outside. Hear all that. It's gonna be, you'll probably hear it anyway, but pungent. Think of pungent, semi-sweet, extremely bready, cracker-like barley malt. And if you've had these German Marzen beers, you know what to expect. And this company seems like they really have it down pat. They ought to. 1050. So rich, sweet, bready beer, like like you really think of a classic beer flavor, lager beer flavor. I think American beer drinkers, like somebody that only drinks Coors Banquet beer or Budweiser or Miller Genuine Draft, this would be really strong for them because of that extreme barley malt presence. They would just find it maybe gagging, because your Miller and the Coors and the Budweiser are cut by corn or rice, or in the case I think of Coors, corn and rice. But so that smooths out the flavor from that. Some people might find harsh barley malt approach. I like it though, regardless. I really like it. But you think along the lines of a rich German white bread. Thought I picked up a little metallic maybe. Probably coming from the hops. Medium mouthfeel, a fairly crisp, quite refreshing, and pretty easy drinking finish. I don't know if it's the best Marzen I've ever had, but on the other hand, it's certainly way up there. Look at that rich, I keep saying rich. Look at that beautiful lacing. Fantastic head retention. I can't see where this beer really has many flaws, if any. Except maybe for that metallic, but it's so faint, and I don't want to nitpick this thing apart. No sediment. Now the Mars Brow down there in Bavaria, that one, those were a lot dirtier beers. They were good, and well, some of them weren't, but they were dirtier. This is a little cleaner. They're not super clean. This is not super clean. You want super clean, get Beck's, get Lowenbrow, get Stoutelprom, and stuff like that. I'll have to give it an A. Most excellent. I can't wait to try the other two. Really, I want to try to get that Baroque Dunkel. Baroque Dunkel, which is supposed to be the best of the style in the world, possibly. I have the Baroque Hell. Oh, look at this head. Okay, so Les Bon Temps Roulé, fantastic beer, most excellent. Before I end this review, people will say, how long have you been drinking craft beer? Well, this bottle is from January 4th, 1996. Plantation Brown Ale in Breaux, Louisiana, Brasserie de Louisiane. The Brewery of Louisiana. Well, that didn't last. Breaux out there in southwestern Louisiana, south central western Louisiana, and a product of Louisiana, certified Cajun. But it was an early craft beer company like Rick and Jack's, and I thought it was very good. This is back in the mid-90s, you know, when brown ales were like the big deal. Pete's Wicked Ale, and everybody was just wanting to get brown ales, and they had Turbo Dog, which was a little more sour, and all these wonderful brown ales. And then when the India Pale Ale thing started to come into play and take over the whole movement and almost in some ways monopolize the craft beer movement, and it could be argued eventually undermine the craft beer movement, then the brown ale started to really go down in popularity. And I mean, I can remember when Newcastle was considered pretty, what you would say, gourmet, you know, and people would really want to step up. They would drink Newcastle. Now people would say, Newcastle, are you cuckoo? But I remember the time. Many of the older drinkers probably do also. But it's sad. Pete's Wicked Ale just died out. But there seems to be a bit of a brown ale resurgence. People are discovering a wonderful style. But this is great. Marzen. Come on down to New Orleans and go to a New Orleans Pelicans basketball game, although the season's about over. These videos are recorded, so you'd be watching them out of time. It's 2015. You could be watching this in 2021. I don't know, but you get the point. New Orleans!